Hi, and welcome to this lesson on training sticks. In today's lesson, I'll be talking about what a training stick is, how you can condition your dog to it, and how you can train all sorts of cool stuff using a training stick. If you don't know what a training stick is, it's basically just a small training tool here that once you train your dog to follow this little target here, it allows you to guide your dog to be in different positions. It's very similar to the luring concept where you use food to guide your dog into the position that you want. But what's really great about this is that once your dog understands to follow this little target, then you can reward him using other things than food. You know, some dogs really want to play with that toy or really want that praise, so you can easily reward with other things than food. So the target stick that I have here is a click stick by the brand Premier. And I got it at my local PetSmart for around $10. So they're very inexpensive. And if you don't want to spend money on this, then that's perfectly fine. You can easily make one at home using a piece of wood and putting a little ball at the end. You know, you can put a ping pong ball, or the best is those practice golf balls with the little holes in it. You can easily stick that at the end and it works like magic. Try not to use something that your dog will want to bite, like a tennis ball or something like that. What I really like about this one though is that it has a built-in clicker. So I don't have to carry a clicker and a training stick. So this is really helpful and handy. So the first thing that you must do to start conditioning your dog to the training stick is to train your dog to touch the target on the training stick. So what you'll want to do is extend your stick just a little bit and put it at your dog's eye level, and as soon as your dog touches the target with his nose, immediately click your clicker and then give him a treat. But what I highly recommend is that you give your dog a treat right where that little target is. Because otherwise, if you always click and then feed over here, then your dog is always going to look back where that food came from. So ideally you would want to get your dog to always focus on this little target. And it really helps when you put that food right where that little target is. So let me demonstrate this first step with my dog. Okay, let's get started on the first step. What you'll want to do is take out your training stick and only extend it about a foot long to begin with. Put it at your dog's eye level, and as soon as your dog touches it with his nose, then immediately click that clicker and then give him a treat. But what's really important is that you don't click when your dog is touching any part of the middle here, because otherwise you'll be creating a pattern and your dog is always going to be wanting to touch this middle part, and it's going to become a problem later on when you have the training stick fully extended. So let me demonstrate this first step with my dog Onyx here. Break! Break. Break. So if your dog bites the target like my dog just did right now, just simply ignore it. What you want to do is wait till your dog touches it with the front of his nose, and any other behaviors is simply ignored. And once your dog is getting really used to the training stick, then you can slowly increase the size of your training stick until it's fully extended. But again, make sure that you reward where your dog actually touches the target. Break. Get in. Good girl. So now it's your turn. Give it a try with your dog. Okay, once your dog has been trained to touch the target on your training stick, then it's time for step number 2, which is to train your dog to follow the target. And this is really important because you want your dog to be able to follow it so that you can get your dog into all sorts of cool behaviors. So the way that you can do this is by simply moving the target just a little bit before your dog actually touches it. So in the beginning, you'd be moving your target just maybe 1 inch or 2 away from your dog. So let's say my dog is here, then I just move it just a little bit. And then as your dog, learns to follow it and he's being successful, then you can increase that distance until you can, move it a little bit further, and then eventually you'll be able to get your dog in like doing a half circle or a circle and all sorts of cool stuff. So let me demonstrate the second step with my dog. Okay, step number 2, training your dog to follow the target. Before you proceed with this exercise, it's really important that you make sure that your dog understands that touching the target is what earns him that reinforcement. Because the second exercise is just built upon that first exercise. So what you'll be doing is, instead of simply holding your target right in front of your dog, as soon as your dog starts walking towards that target, then you'll be slowly moving it forward or away from your dog. And as your dog is zoning in on it and focused on that target, click your clicker and then give him a reward or a treat. So let me demonstrate this second step with my dog Onyx. Break! Wait. Come on. Sit. Good girl. Break! Come on. Sit. Good girl. Break. Come on. Sit. Good girl. Wait. Break. Get in. So now it's your turn. Give it a try with your dog. Okay. Once you've trained your dog to follow that target on your training stick, then it's time for step number 3, which means it's time to train your dog to do some really cool tricks. And some of the tricks that I've trained my dog with a training stick is crawling. That's a super easy one. All you have to do is hold your training stick near the floor and move it along the floor, and your dog's gonna have to crawl in order to follow that target on your training stick. So crawling is a great trick. Another one is beg. If you hold your target stick just above your dog's head when he's in a sit position, then he's gonna have to go up and to touch that target stick. So that's a great one. Another great one is tall. If you hold your target just a little higher, then your dog's gonna have to go on his hind legs to touch that target. And if your dog is really agile and up to it, you might even be able to get him to jump up in the air if you hold your target high enough. But obviously this is not for every single dog, but if your dog really wants to and it's something that you want to get your dog to do, then it's definitely possible with a training stick. So let me demonstrate some of these really cool tricks with my dog. Okay, step number 3, training tricks with your training stick. What I'll be doing with Onyx here is show you a short demonstration of some of the tricks that I've trained her with my training stick. But before I actually do that, I want to give you a little bit of caution, because some of the tricks are, jumping up in the air and standing tall, and you need to do those in a secure environment where your dog is not going to slip and fall. So these tiles are actually made of rubber, and my dog has really strong grip on these. So don't train your dog to do a jumping in the air or standing tall on hardwood floor or ceramic tiles or anything that your dog might slip and fall. What I recommend is that you practice outside in the grass area or even on carpeted area. So let's get started. Break! Wait. Come on. Down. Good girl. Break! Come on. Good girl. Do it again. Down. Good girl. Good girl. Break! Yeah. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Get in. So now it's your turn. Give it a try with your dog. Well, this pretty much concludes this lesson. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or even additions to this lesson, then please leave a comment under this video. Also, be sure to download your complimentary lesson sheet. In it, you'll find lots of valuable information and tips that I didn't put in the video lesson because I didn't want to overwhelm you. So be sure to download it. You'll find a link directly underneath this video on the Dog Trick Academy page. You'll be able to print it or save it to your computer, whatever you prefer. So again, I want to really thank you for taking the time to watch this lesson and for putting in the effort to train your dog. So till next time, my name is Jean Cote.